263 of our BU 365-day challenge to do one thing every day that improves us. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, and today our communication-related topic, we're focusing on communication for the month of September. Our topic with respect to communication is openness. How open are you when it comes to communication? Open in delivering messages as well as receiving messages. And the definition of openness, according to this card, says to be receptive to what happens and consider seeing it as necessary for your growth. So if that's our definition of openness, are you receptive to what happens and how you respond to them, and can you see them as an important part of your growth and development, your continuous improvement, your learning? I looked up some different tips to be more open. How can we be more open? So I'll share those. And then our action item today is going to be to rate ourselves, because we like to get a number, and I like to quantify things in my life. So I can say, okay, how willing am I to deal with what happens in a way that's open and receptive, and seeing it from the perspective of me learning and growing as a result of whatever happens, good things that happen as well as bad things that happen. All of us are open to good things happening to us, right? Who doesn't want to win the lottery? Who doesn't want to fall in love? Who doesn't want to have good things and good experiences happen to them? We all do. We're all open to that for the most part, but not necessarily the bad things that happen in our life. But everybody, our lives have good and bad things that happen to us, and it's how we choose to see them that determines whether they are good or bad in the first place. Stuff that happens is just stuff that happens. Car accidents, illnesses, they're all things that happen, and it's our response to them that really matters the most, more than anything. So what are some ways that we can be more open, particularly in the area of communication? Number one, we can ask open-ended questions. We've all been in conversations when people ask us a one-word answer required question. Well, how you doing today? Oh, I'm great, or I'm good, or I'm fine. Okay, where do you go from there in a conversation? Or they'll ask something very closed. Closed questions usually have a one word or a yes or no response. Open questions are like asking an essay question on a test. You give an example or you give a situation and then you say, how would you handle this, etc. That's an open-ended question. Number two, we want to pay attention to nonverbal cues. Are you paying attention to if somebody's looking at their watch all the time? If they're looking at their watch, if they're looking around the room, if they're looking not anywhere except at you, chances are they don't want to be in the conversation right now, and that they're not open or receptive to whatever you're talking about or whatever information you're trying to convey. Number three, don't try to be a mind reader. All of us like to think that we can be mind readers at some times, but we're absolutely not. Maybe there are some people that have that skill. I am not one of them. And I long since remind myself, and I often remind myself, that I'm not a mind reader. And the only way I'm going to find out what people are thinking or feeling or what's going on with them is to ask them. They may or may not be open to telling me, but I'm never going to know if I don't ask, because I don't have the ability to read their minds. Number four, remember that communication is a two-way street. If we're not talking and listening to understand, not respond, we're going to have trouble, and we're not being very open. If we're just looking to share our opinion about something, we're obviously not open to what the other person's saying. If we are listening to respond and not to understand, we are obviously not open. Number five, set aside time to talk and have a conversation, right? We have to make time to communicate with people, and understanding and being open to communication does a lot of things for us. It builds confidence. Just like action helps us to stretch our comfort zone and do things that we didn't think we were capable of before, being open and receptive to growth and learning and understanding and communication increases our confidence as well. The more we do something, the better we get at it. The more comfortable we are doing it, which stretches our comfort zone, which increases our confidence. So it's kind of like this upward spiral. I found a thing that talked about the traits of people that are traits of openness. Being open-minded, of course. If you're open-minded, then you have openness and you're willing to grow and listen and learn and understand from other people and through communication in particular. It says that people that are open are more creative, more imaginative, more insightful, mainly because they understand more, because they try to understand more, they're willing to grow, etc. So again, our action item today, think about on a scale of 1 to 10, how open are you? 10 being absolutely an open book, open to every possibility, every conversation, every opportunity to grow, every opportunity to expand your comfort zone. And 1 being, hey, not so much. It's my way or the highway. I'm not really open to change or to communication or trying to understand or listening, etc. So share your number in the comments below. I think about openness, probably a 6 or 7. I could be more open. Sometimes I get set in my ways. But the more I'm learning and trying to listen and grow, I think I'm improving in that area. Would I like to be a 9er? Yeah, I'd love to be a 9. And I am setting that as my goal to move toward being more open, being more flexible, being more flowing, being more, that's why we're doing the annual challenge, so that I can improve and be a little bit better version of me every single day, just like you can. And what that looks like to me is going to be different than what it looks like to you, because all of our journeys are slightly different, but we can all be moving toward being a better version of ourselves and making the world a better place every day. And we're not hurting anyone or taking away from anybody else by us becoming a better version of ourselves. That only adds positive energy and makes and puts more good out into the world. Doesn't hurt anybody, doesn't harm anybody. And I say we should always be trying to set a good example for other people. Do we always? Heck no. Do I always? No. Do I lose my temper? Sure I do. Do I get closed-minded and close off about certain things in certain situations? Of course, we all do. But I also am becoming more consciously aware of when I'm doing that, and then I'm consciously deciding, do I want to stay closed off of this topic, or do I want to be more open to it? Topics that I never thought I would even consider, I have become much more open to hearing more about, learning more about, understanding the other side or different perspectives on the topic. Because the more perspectives and the more different ways we look at something, the more we see, the more we understand, the more insightful we become, and the more open-minded we become. All right, any questions, hit me up. Otherwise, I will be with you tomorrow. We're talking about one of my favorite topics tomorrow with respect to communication. Have a great day, and I will, of course, be with you tomorrow.